Hello everybody and welcome back to Ethiopia, where we are currently solidifying our various toeholds in Brazil here, and they are really... They're just kind of throwing troops at us, which is interesting. They're making absolutely no gains there. They're sitting at about 100k manpower available, but they're gonna exhaust their manpower at this rate. Like... I definitely feel like with their available manpower, I definitely feel like I want to make this into a supply and manpower game. Just a simple numbers game. Because we are definitely able to outproduce them in both supplies and manpower. And as much as... If they want to continue throwing themselves into this, I think it's perfectly fine. Like, we're currently positive on supply here. So we don't actually need any more supplies here. The thing that time is getting us, right, is additional land forts. But I feel like they can't win this. They can try. They're kind of chipping into our assault division organization there, I suppose. But they're just really going at it. And this is really chipping through their manpower, like, tremendously. They're currently down to about... Yeah, they've lost 10,000 manpower in their attempts to do this. So this is fascinating to me. This is purely Brazil here. None of their allies are here. Now, we are currently working on doing a little bit of training on some airborne divisions, and that's fine. We're also planning some additional naval invasions on them. But I feel like this is completely okay. Like, I feel like they're not making headway here. And they're only hurting themselves by doing this. Like, they're aggressively attacking us here, and I don't really understand why they're doing it. What could they possibly see here? I mean, I suppose they're looking at this number, right? The forces comparison is showing the enemy as being stronger, but we're like super dug in, we're well supplied here, and we have land forts. I think I'm content just letting them exhaust themselves on us here. I don't think I see a scenario where they push us out of here anytime soon, and the cost to them will be extreme. In the meantime, we do have our armies over here. Now, our major issue here, of course, is different from our issue here. Over here, we don't actually care about the damage to infrastructure, at least not currently. It's hurting them more than it's hurting us. Whereas over here, it's the opposite. So that's definitely something to consider. Now, we are working on repairing this infrastructure. That doesn't take very long to do. It's about 1 day, or no, it's about 4 days per level of infrastructure. But that's okay. Now, one thing we could do, what are we on for? We're on construction engineering? Yeah, that's completely fine. I'm not concerned about that. Army training might be an interesting thing to switch to eventually, but I feel like we don't want that right now. So yeah, you can see here, they've completely exhausted their attack capability. Their organization is currently too low for them to advance, and our organization is fine. Like, it didn't budge in the slightest, and we're currently working on upgrading our fort levels anytime they're not attacking us. They're not attacking us here, even though they definitely could. They 100% could attack us here. Who's piling in here? Free India is piling in here. They're going to massively tax our supplies here. I don't know about this, Free India. I'm not necessarily a fan... Oh, Free India landed where we were planning to. I am a fan of that. They only landed with 2 infantry divisions, though. We'll see how Brazil decides to respond to this incursion. As of right now, I'm going to switch this guy back over to balanced, just to get a little bit more aggressive over here. Because they're continuing to attack here. How is Brazil doing on their manpower currently? They are down to... Oh, okay, their manpower has drastically gone up. They must have switched over to a different conscription law. Or perhaps the AI cheats. Hard to say. Regardless, we're going to keep the pressure on over here. Free India is going to set this up. And interesting, I'm actually interested in setting up a front line over here. Come on over, lads. Let's get this defense set up. Now, this is already a level 10 naval base. Unfortunately, this is Free India that controls this, so we can't control any of the supply infrastructure there. Regardless, we'll see if we can get in over here in time to prevent them from pushing this back. We may or may not. It'll be interesting either way. Now, we do currently have a research slot available, and we're low on our fuel, so I definitely want to grab Fuel Refining 5. And let's toss our unassigned divisions into here. Perfect. I guess if Free India is going to do this, I'm not going to stop them. Hopefully we can get there in a reasonable amount of time, but I was kind of late on issuing this. I probably should have issued it much, much sooner. But we'll see. Maybe we get there in time. I was just caught off guard by this. If we don't, what's the plan? Well, currently Free India is holding. Okay. They are holding, but surely these guys are walking in like here. Yeah, they are. They're attacking here, which means that these guys are now pocketed and encircled, so that's not going to happen. But we can still land over here. Can get rid of that. Free India can likely hold this. Now, that naval base will only give us 30 supply throughput, but that should hopefully be enough. Okay, I'm not entirely sure why we have troops landing up over here. I want them all to come over here. But, okay. This is going to be interesting for our supplies. Hopefully they'll just immediately turn around and leave. That said, we're under attack over here. I don't want you guys here. Please don't land here. Please land here. How are our supplies here? 53 out of 60. That's not the worst. Okay, now it's 73 out of 60. That is kind of the worst. You guys need to be over here. No, not that way. Go via sea. Please go via sea. Okay. I want to deselect these guys. For sure. Do we have another naval invasion starting up here from Free India? No. Okay. We still have this guy selected. Okay. You guys, please group up somewhere. These guys are currently here fighting. I'm really salty that they're currently here. Okay, these guys are actually pulling out. So, we want just this army, just these two. So we'll deselect these, and we'll tell these guys to chill. Okay, please redeploy. Thank you. Thank you. We gotta get out of here. Okay, we're good. That was slightly awkward. Now, as far as down here goes, we redirected. Like, we're wildly late for coming down here. We may not be able to reinforce this now, because we landed up here for some reason. We'll see. Yeah, it's not looking great. Last for another 2 days. Yikes. If we hadn't have landed up here... Oh, hello. They backed off a little bit, I think. Okay. So we're going to really tax these supplies. There's no doubt about that. But it looks like we might just squeak in time. Maybe? They're retreating. They're retreating. Are we going to make it in? It's going to be really close. It's going to be really close. Okay. We made it in. We have no supplies, though. So that's a thing. These guys are all retreating because we have no organization. Okay. So as far as supplies here go, supplies are fine. We just need these guys to have some level of organization, but it looks like we got here in time to hold this. So that's good. Now, as far as actually doing anything here construction-wise goes, I think we need to come up with an actual cost for telling the AI what to build, because I do think that we should be able to tell our allies how to build this, or in some way be able to affect that. So I think I'll come up with that next episode, assuming we still have this. Like, maybe it would be for each county involved, each province involved here, it would be 100 political power, or maybe it would be something along the lines of per state. I don't know. I'll have to think about it. For now, though, we'll see if we can hold on to this. It's going to be interesting in terms of supplies, but we do have some supplies on the way in. Actually, we're doing okay on supplies for now. But once all of our troops get here, I suspect we will not be. Well, this toehold is a nice one to have, for sure. Interwar carrier fighters. Yeah, that's just a filler tech. Nothing too major there. Logistics Company 3 is going to be finishing up in 31 days, so that is a big deal for us. We're continuing to shuffle troops in over here, and so far we're holding Rio de Janeiro. So that's good. I highly doubt that the AI is actually constructing anything over here. Yeah, they're not. So we would need to give them a kick in the butt to make that happen. Okay, let's check in on Brazil's manpower situation. They're going up dramatically. Okay. They must be switching over to more conscription. Is all I can figure. Because they're just throwing away tons of equipment over here. I'm still completely okay with this, by the way. These are now fort level 7. Or this one isn't, but the others are. I really don't think that they're going to push into that. And they're not trying to push into this. We're up to fort level 9 and naval base level 7 here. Now we're only going to have a total of 31 supply throughput here. But regardless, we might be able to push out from here. And paratroopers might be able to get us some interesting situations as well. Now, I wouldn't mind setting an offensive line for these guys to be something like that. That would be a fantastic offensive line. State-wise, we're crossing over 3 states there. And supply area-wise, this is 2 supply areas, so that's not too bad. Yeah, I like that. We'll have these guys set to cautiously execute, but give it a go. I don't want them to do anything too risky. Just mostly hold on to this, but pressure them here and there so that they can't pull too many troops off. Now these guys, I don't feel like we need to do that for them. They're getting attacked all the time. Like, literally all the time. There's constantly an attack over here. Now there are additional troops filtering in, apparently. But that's okay. Let's see, we're at 53 out of 55 right now, and these naval bases are going to continue to improve, And we're going to have logistics upgrades here in 16 days as well. So I think this is okay. The enemy is currently stronger here. Now, we're currently viewed as much stronger here. I don't want to do anything to provoke them, though, until this naval base is done. And our supply here is as good as it's going to get. Okay. So we're just going to continue poking at them here and seeing if we can get anything. Actually, we did get something. This has expanded. We are making some progress here. So that's good. Supply-wise, we're doing okay. Supplies are doing reasonably here, especially once our logistics company comes in another 10 days. So that'll be great. Now, we should keep in mind that we are also rushing for infiltration assault for additional supply consumption reduction. So that's good. Our supplies over here are still a wee bit dire, which is why we're staying cautious here. Okay, it looks like Free India is landing additional troops over here. And they're probably the ones that are making these pushes. Yeah, I would guess that they are. Although, I'm going to bump these guys over to balanced execution. Because they've left some areas undefended. Now, these guys are going to get there before we do. But that's okay. We'll just stay on balanced execution for now, and hopefully between us and Free India, we can start making some real, actual gains here. Oh, hello, Free India landed up here. They're going to get encircled, probably, and they don't have access to a naval base unless they're heading north, which they're not. And there's enemy units here. So I'd guess that this is not going to go well for them. The only reason I joined them here, by the way, is because they got the naval base in Rio de Janeiro. I would not have joined them if they had not. Okay. So this is looking pretty decent. Now we're running a little low on fuel. That does bear noting. The question is, will we still be once we get fuel refining? If we are, then we're probably going to have to put in some refineries. Our logistics company has finished up, so that's great. Let's immediately begin work on logistics company 4. You can see here, we're dropped down to 149 here, 39 of 39 here. We are at 42 of 39 here, and 41 of 25 here. So our logistics is getting better. But I think this Free India incursion up here is pretty much doomed to fail. However, we're making gains over here, which is exactly what I wanted to see. If we can get additional supplies here, and particularly if we can break through into this supply node here, we can start hurting them pretty dramatically by taking out infrastructure here, which will hurt their infrastructure throughput to this state, which is what we really want to do. So this is going fantastically over here, and I assume it's because Free India is better than we are. But yeah, these guys appear to be retreating. Now, I'm assuming these guys are shifting southward, but they may... Oh, okay, this is wiped. That's fine. I'm assuming all those guys are shifting southward then. However, did we just break through here? Yes, we did. Okay. This is huge. This is absolutely enormous for us. We are beginning to make real, actual gains here, and all it took was a lot of infrastructure. Wonderful. We have a research slot available, and we should probably do something with that. I guess we can grab advanced anti-air. That'll be fine. We're missing equipment production on motorized. I don't care. That is rather irrelevant. Okay. So as far as this goes, we're currently looking at taking all of our desired positions there. And here, We are almost across this line. So that is great for us. These guys are actually just letting it happen. Wonderful. So we've actually managed to push in here. That's great. Are we still on cautious? No, we're on balanced. Okay, but that does get us additional supply in this area, and I'm hoping that that means that we'll be doing less damage to the infrastructure in this state. Hopefully. That would be nice. But we definitely want to continue this. Now, this is all free India here, which I'm not necessarily a big fan of. We should consider, however, having these guys begin executing their plan in a balanced manner as well. Although I'm actually going to switch this over to cautious. We'll do a little bit of attacks here, but we should have no real problem holding this if they decide to counterattack because of our land forts, which are going to be continuing to be improved behind the scenes. Excellent. Now these guys over here, they still have a rather extreme lack of supplies. So I think we're just going to continue holding position here. But this is pretty excellent so far. We're making some gains. I do like to see that. I'd love to see this line get pushed to here. I kind of doubt that these guys are going to yield to us, but they might. I think we have them stretched thin enough now. But if we can unify our front... Oh man, our supplies would be so good. We'd be able to just reduce it to a matter of manpower and production capacity, which I am very okay with doing. Now, Free India is pushing further than we are here. That's okay. We're mostly acting as the fallback line. Hello. Yeah, they're beginning to crumble. This is perfect. Let's go ahead and grab... Let's see, we've already researched all of these, right? Yeah, let's just start researching these, I guess. There we go. Prepared defense will be done soon enough. There it is. Wonderful. And we are going to continue working our way down here. Grand Assault, that'll be good for us. We're definitely going to spend the military experience on speeding that up. Wonderful. So we may have to reevaluate these defensive lines soon enough. However, this army, like I said, this is mostly a force that is set to hold the line. Free India can take the hits here. These attacks are going reasonably well. We're going to push them back across the river, I think, which is exactly what we want to do. We should probably consider constructing a few things. Specifically, we should consider constructing naval bases here. It's not a super high priority, though, honestly. So I'm not going to move that up because we're already capped by, in this supply zone, we're already capped by our capital's infrastructure. Oh hey, Free India just gave us all of this coastline. Okay. If they're going to do that, then we're going to build some proper invasion support infrastructure. Let's do it. This should be high priority. So in Rio de Janeiro, and there. Excellent. Any infrastructure repairs should also be pretty high priority. Sounds good. Excellent. So we're struggling over here a little bit because of infrastructure levels. because we're damaging the infrastructure with these attacks, but if we can push just a little bit further, that will no longer be an issue for us. Over here, I think that our supply issues, they're a little bit alleviated, but because Free India gave us the whole coastline there, that means that we are able to really bump up our infrastructure here. So that is going fantastically. We are currently at a naval base level of 9 here. We're almost to our max level naval base. That'll be finishing up quite soon. So let's go ahead and create ourselves an offensive line here. I would like to see that offensive line be something like that. That would be an ideal offensive line for me. I would like to execute this, but I have very little faith in actually holding this if we do. Mostly because our supplies are garbage. So I'm going to tell this guy to execute it cautiously. Very cautiously. We can move in additional divisions over here, and that'll be fine. Okay, perfect. We have a research slot that is currently available. Let's continue upgrading our paratroopers. And there we go. Real actual progress. Who would have thought? It is, however, time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to see if we can unify any of these fronts. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I'll see you all next time when I realize that we don't have any fuel. Perfect.